coming around to the passenger side of the RV, you have this back storage area on the passenger side. So you have this little outside storage area that you can lock and unlock. Your gray key locks and unlocks all of your storage areas on driver and passenger side of the RV. So you have the ability to lock that. You also have like a light in here to help you at night if you're searching for stuff. Most of your storage is going to be inside, just due to the big slide out on the driver's side. You don't have a lot of storage area on the outside. Again, on the passenger side of the RV, you have your big back storage area, another smaller one here. And another storage area here. Right above the storage area by the entrance door, you have, this is where your water heater is. So this will just be hot to the touch. So obviously you don't want to touch that. This is for your fridge. Sometimes it'll leak condensation. That's totally normal. Still on the passenger side here, this storage area is actually your propane. There is no level inside that button you can press to check the level on your propane. So this is something you'll actually have to come out and look to see how full or low you're getting. So we're about at full right now. Your propane powers your fridge when you're not plugged in. So if you're not plugged into a 30 amp power supply, your fridge is going to keep cold by fueling itself off of your propane. Also, your stove and oven is powered by propane, and then your heat inside the RV is propane. So if you use a heater furnace inside to keep the RV warm, you're going to be using propane as well. If you need to get a refill on your propane, most U-Hauls, campsites, they'll offer the service. You just have to pay whatever their fee is per gallon to fill it. Just make sure that you call them ahead of time if it's not a campsite and let them know that it's an actual propane fill on an RV. It's not a replacement. So just a Google search of propane fills near me, give the place a call before you drive there. And if they confirm that they can fill a propane tank on an RV, then you're good to go. But you will need to direct them to where the propane tank is on the RV. So you would just let them know it's on the passenger side in this second storage compartment here. You have another storage compartment here on the front passenger side of the RV. You have your outdoor TV here. Okay. And also on the passenger side of the RV, you have your awning. This awning extends about 8 feet. So you want to be sure that you have the clearance to extend it before extending. And you also want to make sure that if it's windy or rainy, you do not extend the awning. They tear really easily. So any slight wind or rain can catch the arms of the awning and rip it off, which will damage the fabric. Also, you don't want to leave it open overnight. So just close it before you go to sleep at night. And then when you're driving, especially in a wooded campsite or any kind of wooded area, just be cautious of any tree branches that might hook into the awning arms and cause damage to the awning. We've had that happen a few times to where you go to a wooded campsite and a tree limb or some kind of tree catches into the awning arm and actually causes damage to that. So you just want to be cautious. Coming into the RV, you have your screen door here. Coming up the steps, you have your fire extinguisher. Right here is your main power button. You just want to make sure this red light is always on. If this turns off, it cuts off power to the inside. So if you're not getting any power inside, the first place you want to check is right here and make sure somebody didn't accidentally knock that off. Also, another key if you're not getting power inside the RV is to check the campsite. If you're plugged in at a campsite, go to the actual place where you have the RV plugged into and make sure you didn't jump one of their breakers. Also, if you're running off of generator power in the RV and you're not getting any power, make sure that you have enough fuel in the gas tank. Your generator runs off of the fuel in your engine for your engine gas tank. So once you get low in fuel, it will not allow you to start up the generator. Your awning button is right here. So to bring the awning out, you just hold down on out and it brings open the awning. And it's not very windy or rainy today, so I can fully extend it. I have the clearance to extend it, and it's open. Right here you have your awning light that turns on the LED strip at the end of the awning. Then you can turn it off, and you can bring the awning in by holding down on in. And now it's fully closed. So that covers everything important over here. Right here is your speaker inside, speaker outside. If you are driving, you want to make sure it's on speaker inside. If you're at a campsite and you want the radio or music to play outside, you can switch it so it's playing your music from your driver's bay radio to the outside speakers, which they're right here and right there. Coming into the RV, right above your fire extinguisher, you have a coat closet here. And then you have your control panel. This is probably the most important thing inside the RV. So again, just a brief overview. Battery, if you press and hold that, that shows you your house battery. If this gets low, you just need to crank the engine, give it about 15 minutes, and this will charge back up. Fresh is your storage water. When this gets low, you just switch it to city fill on the outside of the RV and you can fill it with the water hose. Black is your toilet waste. When this gets to 2/3, it's time to dump. And then same for your gray. When this is at 2/3, it's time to dump. Water pump is right here. You can turn this on when you're using your storage water, your fresh water only. If you're hooked up at a campsite or to any type of water system with the water hose on the outside, you want this off. You have two options for heating your water. You can choose propane or plug-in. So if the RV is plugged in, you can choose this option. If you don't have the ability to plug in or you just don't want to wait as long, you can choose propane. So propane, when you're ready to take a hot shower, you just turn this on, wait 15 minutes, take a hot shower, and then you'll come back and turn it off. If you want to choose plug-in, turn this on, wait about 25 minutes, take a hot shower, come back and turn it off. It's just really important that you turn these off when you're done, because if you leave them on for any extended period of time, like overnight, for more than 2-3 hours, you're going to burn out the heating element. So again, you just want to make sure these are turned off. Right beside your water pump, you have something called tank heaters. People get this confused a lot with the water heater. You will never use this. This is for wintertime only. If you turn this on thinking that it's your water heater, you could cause some damage to the pipes. So you don't want to use the tank heaters. You only want to use water pump and then what says water heater. Right here is your generator. Your generator, you would want to turn on if you're not plugged in to power. So you have two ways to power the RV. You can be plugged into a 30 amp plug on the outside or the generator. So if you're driving or you're not plugged in and somebody wants to turn on the AC in the back of the RV cabin, if someone wants to use the 110 outlets in the RV, and if someone wants to use the microwave, you have to have the generator on or be plugged in. You never want to use both the generator and plug-in. It's either one or the other. Just keep in mind you can only run the generator for 3 hours at a time, and then you have to give it a 3-hour break in between. How we turn on the generator is we hold down on stop until it lights up red, and then we hold down on start. A key to know that the generator is powering everything is just to keep an eye on the microwave. Give it a few seconds and the microwave will turn on, and that's how you know that it's powering everything. Sometimes it takes it a couple seconds. And now we know that the generator is powering everything. You're able to turn your AC on from here. You would just switch it over to cool, adjust your temperature. You can turn it to high or low. You can turn it off, you can turn it on heat. And you have an AC system here, and you have an AC system in the back as well. A lot of people are curious about the front. Yes, your front driver's cabin does have AC and heat. Just like a normal vehicle, you'll be able to use this AC and heat while you're driving, but sometimes it'll only cool you to about this area. So if someone's napping in the back or someone prefers it really colder temperature, you might need to turn on the generator so you can run the AC in these back areas here. But again, in the front driver's dash, you'll be able to use USB cords, chargers. You're able to use the AC and everything normally while you're driving in this area. But if someone wants to charge their phone back here in one of the 110 outlets, or they want to use the USB or chargers here, or they want to run the microwave, you have to have the generator on, or you have to be plugged in to 30 amp power to use this.